Guys, stay tuned to the end of this video where I'm going to tell you about some exciting news and some things that I have going on. Hey guys, welcome to The Real Review. Let's talk about Moana. Moana is the story of a girl who is essentially raised on an island with her people. Her dad is the chief of this island and the community that is on it. And with that comes a lot of weight and responsibility. Essentially, her dad is raising her and prepping her to be the next chief or the next leader and commander of the culture and the community on this island. And that leads to some inner conflict because Moana essentially feels like she is called to go explore and to go find out more what's beyond their world and what's beyond their island and their community. So through a series of events, this island that Moana's community lives on is starting to die. It's starting not to produce the things that the people need to survive. The trees are dying. The water, there's no more fish for them to fish in the water. And so Moana really feels this urge to go beyond their own little community on this island, which her dad is very much opposed to. And so she finds herself going out against his will to essentially go find out what is happening. And through that she meets a demigod named Maui, which is voiced by The Rock, and has to go with him to essentially restore life to the islands and her island specifically so that her people don't die. So there's a lot of mythology and a lot of story buildup, especially at the beginning of this film when they're explaining how Maui took the heart from this island that's providing the life to all the surrounding islands, and that's what's causing the death and decay of all of the surrounding islands. Moana essentially takes it upon herself to go restore this life so that everything kind of goes back to the way it was before Maui did what he did. Let's start off by talking about the voice acting. The voice acting in this movie is terrific. So good. Specifically, The Rock does a really fantastic job, and he can sing. Who knew that? In addition to that, the actress who voices Moana is fantastic, and I'm going to butcher her name, and I'm so sorry. Her name is Aurelie Carvalho, and she's got a long, bright future ahead of her because she does such a fantastic job, especially when she sings. She has got a killer voice on her, and I just see Moana being a launching pad for her. She's going to go super far in life. She just does a fantastic job in this film. Other than just overall great voice acting, the one thing that Disney is just getting better and better with is just the way that their movies look. It's very well animated, looks great, a lot of bright colors. I really like that about this movie too. It takes place in an environment that we haven't really seen a lot of, except for maybe Lilo and Stitch back in the day, but this is very vibrant. The animation is wonderful. So let's talk about the positives. I know I already mentioned the voice acting, which is terrific overall, but in addition to that, one of my favorite parts of this film is the underlying message. Typically in a film where the underlying message is essentially to follow your heart, to be what you feel like you're called to be, to do what you need to do, a lot of times that person will do that at the expense of where they're coming from and almost forsake where they are coming from in order to get there. Moana doesn't do that. Rather than going to find herself and to follow her heart and to do what she feels like she is purposed to do at the expense of leaving her culture and her tribe behind, you could really sense the inner turmoil that she doesn't want to do exclusively one more so than the other. She wants to do both. And so she ends up leaving, but in a very respectful way that she's not blatantly disrespecting her father or dishonoring her father. She really feels like she's doing what she needs to do to help her father and to help her people. And I love that so much about this. So many times I see the person follow their dreams or follow what they feel like they're called to do and just say, bye, I don't really care about you guys anymore. I don't like that. Another positive and probably one of the most memorable things about this film is the music. The music is terrific. Most of the music is done by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's done a ton of stuff. More recently, he's done the Hamilton stuff. And it is just so good. And I took my son to the movie, and the first thing he said when we left the theater was, hey, let's listen to that one song that the one guy sang. He's referring to the song that The Rock sang, which is a very catchy song called You're Welcome. Check it out. You're welcome. Also, the music is wonderfully placed throughout the film. There are a lot of times where one of the main songs that I feel like is going to be kind of like the next Let It Go, it's called How Far I'll Go, And this song is placed in a couple of key moments in the movie that are just super powerful. When they were playing and when she was singing this song, I was like, man, yes, do it. Do it, Moana, go! I was kind of like inside, like, yay! So let's get to the negatives. The negatives. What were the negatives? If I'm being completely honest with you, I didn't feel like there were a lot of negatives in this film. If I wanted to be nitpicky, the only thing I wish I would have seen is some more unfamiliar story beats. There are a lot of parts of this film and the journey that she has from beginning to end that are a little bit cliche, but I understand why they use those story elements, and I think it's because it's those are story elements that are proven, you know, over and over again, that people like to see these types of stories, and I think that's why it uses some similar story elements that you might have seen in a lot of other movies, a lot of that hero's journey from beginning to end type thing. So I don't really know if that's a negative, but I feel like maybe that would be the one thing I wish I could have seen a little bit more of. Really, other than that though, I don't have anything negative to say about this movie. I really liked it. My son really liked it. The music is wonderful. Moana is a terrific movie. If you get a chance to take your family to it or go see it yourself, go do it. I'm going to give Moana an A. So the exciting news that I wanted to tell you about was that a buddy and I are going to be starting the Real Review podcast, which will be launching at the beginning of the year. This podcast, we're going to be talking about movies. We're going to be talking about some television even. We're going to get into some news items, so some new happenings that are going on in the world of television and film. And it's just going to be really exciting for us to share kind of our thoughts and opinions. And I'm super excited about it. It's going to be awesome. And tune in January. We're going to get this thing going. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you've seen Moana and you want to tell me about it, go ahead and comment in the section below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and remember to keep it real.